Podcast. My name is Seth. This is No Sugar, No Cream Podcast. And Tim will be here momentarily. He's behind the scenes setting things up, but we have a great show for you. It's Tuesday. Yes, last podcast was on a Friday. Sorry about that. But it was a Friday. It was supposed to be a Thursday. I was sick Thursday. Had a bad headache. So we postponed it till Friday. So it feels weird doing it today. It didn't feel like Tuesday. I was like, oh crap, it's Tuesday. But yeah. It's yeah, yesterday we both went and played some poker, had a good time, and I went and saw um Mission Impossible, the newest, afterwards. And I didn't realize it was going to be 3 hours long. So like it was definitely way over 3 hours with once because there was like 30 minutes of trailers. And I'm about to see the movie again because I missed a number of plot holes because I fell asleep in the middle of it. But yeah, everything's okay. I saw the end though. Everything's okay. I saw we're all alive. Or are we? Are we in the Matrix? Yeah, it's amazing what Tom Cruise can do at his age, still killing it, doing all these stunts. Man, I think it was last there was part one and this is part two of Reckoning. And the last one, when he did a crazy jump and just was just a little short and he hit his leg and he broke his leg really well. And he, I guess they casted it up and he just kept going. So it's just crazy. And he's like, what, 60? I think Tom Cruise 60 something. I think he's 60. You know, Carrot Top, he doesn't look like he's even in his 50s. He's 60. That's crazy. Tom Cruise, age 62. Yeah, he's found the fountain of youth. That surprised him a little bit there. Yeah, 62. Born July 3rd, 1962. So he will be 63 in July. And July is my birthday. And Tim told me his birthday the other day, and I need to. Oh, I was gonna try to remember it. He gave it away. I think I would have got it. I remember 6. And then I was narrowing it down October, November. So yeah. So he's just killing it with these movies. I guess some people didn't say it was as good as some of the other ones. So I missed a little bit of it. So from what I saw, I enjoyed it. But we have an issue, Tim.
Yeah,
Everything. Instagram. Apologize to Instagram. We give up on you.
Give up on you this time.
We give up on you this time. Yep. And yes. So man, if you have an AMC little advertising for AMC theaters, if you have an AMC theater around you, man, you can get for like $26 with taxes a month. You can go to 4 movies a week, and you can't beat that. That's like you go to get 2 movie tickets, and that is more than $26. And you can also buy the tickets for other people, and they won't charge you the fee. So that's a little bonus too if other people go with you, but it's definitely worthwhile. And now that we're we're getting toward the summer, there is some better movies coming out. I was mostly, the last year, there is just hardly any stuff good there is plenty of good stuff. We've been into a number of shows that are wrapping up here. We got a couple of shows ending this next week. One of my shows that you didn't watch with me, but it's based on a video game. It's zombies. Tim's not huge on sci-fi, but this is a zombie one that I just finished. And oh my gosh, I'm hoping our shows don't end like this. It was a crazy cliffhanger. Crazy cliffhanger. Like bullet stops mid-air kind of cliffhanger. And I'm not a fan of that. Which I could just go play the video game and learn what happens because it's based on the video game.
Yeah, the world we're in is so different than, even 10 years ago. I mean, video games YouTubers, influencers are, for the longest time, no respect for that. And now a lot of artists are doing concerts. I mean, was a big artist, did a big concert in Roblox. A big name, I can't remember which one it was, did a big concert. Was it Post Malone? Or one of the big ones. Really?
Oh, really?
Now it's becoming a common thing where you do it right on the platform.
And I know it's happened in Fortnite a couple of times where like they've done like a
maybe I had the wrong platform.
Or like I think it was like an animated version of them, but it was like a live concert thing.
Oh,
I think
I didn't realize it was an animated version of them. I didn't know.
At least it was for Fortnite. Yeah. I don't know about Roblox. I'm not even too familiar with that.
I might have the wrong platform.
But no,
I'm not a gamer at all. I don't know.
I mean, Fortnite did it. I wouldn't be surprised if other video games have done it too.
And so, for the longest time, YouTubers I don't think got any respect. And now, I mean, like Mr. Beast did $100 million project with Amazon. I mean, so you can't look down on these new platforms, because that's where all the money is right now. In fact, there's so much more money. I mean, I saw an article that this is a few years ago, so I think it's grown. The gross revenue from all recorded music and all movies in the US is still like less than half of the revenue from video games. Video games is king now.
Yeah. So you talking about how big YouTubers are, and it's funny that you just, of course, you got to mention Mr. Beast. You mentioned Mr. Beast, and he just did a video with Steph Curry. And I was watching a behind the scenes video, and they meet each other for it might not have been the first time, but he's like, "Hey, can I call my son real quick? He'll say hi to you, Mr. Beast." And it's funny. It was like,
so Steph was fanning Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because his son is a gigantic fan. And that's the very common thing, which is funny because like all these celebrities be like, I don't know who you are. Well, ask your kids. They know who I am. And a lot of YouTubers can say that with confidence. The funny part is, I mean, in fact, Tom Brady was even in Mr. Beast's video, maybe even a couple times now, and sure, right in tow with Tom Brady was his kids. Like, kids were like, probably like, you better do a video with Mr. Beast, you know. And that's the thing is, that's the cutest thing. You could be as big as you want, but man, your kids will keep you humble. And
now all these celebrities say how their kids are roll their eyes at them and eat dad, mom.
It was
You're lame.
The main
don't embarrass me.
What was it? The main actor for Postel. I can't even say his last name. Gonna look up. The Last of Us actor. Oh yeah, Pedro Pascal plays the character of Joel in The Last of Us, and he talked about how I think he's not married or nothing, but he's got like 30 or 40 some cousins, and they all got his number. Which that could be a little crazy, but he was talking to his sister, and in the background, his nephews were. And he said he's trying out for this show. It's based on a video game. It's called and the kids interrupted, The Last of Us. You better get that. He couldn't even get the whole name of the thing out, and they're like, let him know right now that he better get that. The kids.
Yeah, it's a different world, and in fact, I remember reading. Now, this probably was the World is Flat. This is a book that came out 20 years ago now. I got to say, I remember reading it. I remember I was farming at the time, and I had it with me when I would go out and do the fields. I don't know what I think I was going to read it while I was driving the tractor. I don't remember, but who's the guy that wrote those books? Tom, I can't even remember his name now, but he wrote a bunch of books that were very New York Times bestsellers, and the world is flat. When he's talking about is that it hasn't really worked out, but he said with technology, there's no advantage in where you're located. I mean, you could have someone in a rural village in India has access to the internet and become it hasn't really worked out quite to that extent, but the world has gotten flatter to some extent. You talk about it that way regarding opportunities you don't have. It's not location. You can do it from anywhere, but it still matters where you are. I mean, you still, if you're going to be a big influencer, you want to have that other people supporting you, and you probably move to a bigger city like New York or LA because it matters. A lot of them have moved into houses and they all support each other and bounce ideas off each other. A lot of those young YouTubers will move into a house. And so it still matters very much where you are, but it's the opportunities for wherever you are with an internet connection. But with that, it's a big book. So, I mean, it's a lot of pages. So it's a lot of ideas in it. I'm pretty sure that was a book that said that in future generations, people of the same generation will have more bonding with each other across countries and cultures through these video games than they do with other generations in their own country.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's happening.
Oh, for sure. I mean, one of my favorite people to play with was this hilarious Australian kid that cracked me up on Xbox. I ended up getting an online girlfriend. We joked around that she was my girlfriend, and we're still friends on Facebook, and we'll shoot messages every now and then. And she's from Canada, and I still would love. I've still haven't been to Canada, and I'd love to go up there at some point and hang out with her and her family. She's got a baby another baby on the way, and doing pretty good. But yeah, like you get which that was interesting having a girlfriend like that. Not a real girlfriend, just online girlfriend, which was still a really good friend of mine. And you'd get either one reaction, guys like, "Hey, what's up? Can I get your number?" Or "Go make me a sandwich." You get, or also just annoyed that they're getting destroyed by you because she was really good. She was probably probably better than me.
Talking about girlfriends and technology, I don't think we've discussed this on the podcast yet. Gary Vee, who's a big influencer and has, if you look at the history of Gary Vee, he has predicted a lot of things that have come true. I mean, he can see the future or where things are moving to when it comes to social media trends. And he said on a podcast what was a podcast that he was on? Somebody you like?
Coffee Hour.
Something. And two young guys. And he said that there's no doubt, 100%, he's convinced that those guys' grandkids will have relationships with AI robots. He said their AI robots are going to get so good that people will have, fall in love with them and have relationships with them and, have sexual relations with them. And the one guy, well, look at his face, he was like shocked. The taller guy, he was like, he couldn't even process it. I don't know the names of the two guys, but they're really good friends, have a podcast, right? And Gary Vee said absolutely, and I wouldn't bet against Gary Vee. He has there are videos of him, and you can tell it's an older video because now he works out and he's very buff, but when he was younger he was a little fleshy, and you can tell that it's much older video of him. He's younger, but he's also kind of puffy and he's saying things that have come true. I mean, he
for one example is BlackBerry. He explained the downfall of BlackBerry.
And BlackBerry's gone. It's gone now. No, nobody. It's just
they
like
tried to have one come back.
It's a museum piece. So Gary Vee knows his stuff, and I mean, how to process that. I mean, are you cheating on? Let's say you're married and you have a AI robot that you keep as a concubine. Are you cheating on your wife?
Yeah, that whole thing really doesn't surprise me. The whole robot thing, extent because people are crazy enough. I think it will be just a certain percentage. Maybe because it's so realistic, the percentage will be higher than the crazy people that out there doing this, because people are marrying objects, or in love with their car, kissing their car. There's all kinds of crazy. I mean, all you have to do is switch it on TLC and you'll see where somebody's marrying something crazy. So I definitely see how that is very plausible for someone to easily be.
There was a lady in now Japan is. If you want to see outlandish stories, you just go to Japan. They have some outlandish stuff,
and game shows.
And game shows. Yeah, one woman married herself. Do you take this to be your lawfully wedded wife? Yes, I do. I mean, how do you answer?
Well,
do the vows?
If she has multiple personalities, that would probably help.
Maybe it would. So, I mean, there's crazy things going on in this world. I mean, it's just absolutely. I think 20 years ago, there's no way that a 20 years younger me would anticipate some of these things, even while reading that book. Thomas, the world is flat. Can you Google that? You have your phone. My phone's being used as a camera.
Is flat.
The world is flat.
The world is flat.
Thomas, first name Thomas.
But not at all talking about.
Not talking about the actual Earth, the surface of the sphere of the Earth. He's talking about that all opportunities will be the same for anyone who has an internet connection. Is what he's talking about. He's not buying into the flat earthers.
Todd Almond?
Thomas Almond. That doesn't sound familiar.
This is probably the wrong person then. That is 2008.
The book, The World is Flat. Book. I need to have my computer. I need to have my computer here so that I can do this myself so I don't have to try to ask you to do it. He wrote a couple other best-selling books talking about what was going to happen in the future. I think the world is flat, not the Earth. The world is flat. Thomas.
The world.
The world.
I kept on putting in Earth.
The world is flat. Thomas something.
Yeah. Thomas Friedman.
That's it. Thomas Friedman. He wrote a bunch of other books. When did that one come out? The World is Flat. I'm going to say the odds. The odds. Because I remember I quit farming in 2005, so it had to have been before then.
2005.
Oh, it just come out the year I quit. 2005 it came out. Yeah.
The Earth is Flat, A Brief History of the 21st Century.
By Thomas Friedman? That's another one.
Thomas Friedman, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So maybe it was The Earth is Flat then, not the world. The Earth. The title was The Earth is Flat?
The world is flat.
The world is flat.
I might have just said
you
Earth
just
again.
Said it wrong. You did say Earth. You did say Earth.
Just a little synopsis of it.
Yeah.
So
2005 book, Thomas, political commentator. It analyzes globalization in the early 21st century, suggesting that the world has a level playing field where countries, companies, and individuals need to remain competitive in a global market. One inaugural Financial Times and Goldman Sachs. Critical reception.
Yeah, not to become confused with the Earth is flat. People believe the Earth is flat, which is funny. Like they took like 3 of those big flat earthers up to Antarctica or whatever, did a simple test, that a common thing that you do, and one of the biggest admitted that the Earth is not flat. And that created, I guess, an uproar in the whole community because he was one of the prominent, had tons of followers, and he was able to admit. Usually, they should just create another excuse. You know, they have excuse on top of excuse why the Earth is flat. None of the, it sounds plausible to them, and then that's a little bit of simple research, and you can find out, yes, the Earth is definitely.
Well, I always referred to the movie Idiocracy. I mean, remember when that came out? That came out about 20 years ago. I see clips of that
all the time. I need to watch it fully.
Look that one up, Idiocracy.
Yeah.
It had one of the. It had one of the Luke Wilson. What's his brother? Owen Wilson. I think it was Luke Wilson was in it. Was the star in it, and one of the Wilson brothers, and Idiocracy. And he was an average intelligence guy. But he had been transported by time travel into the future, where he was by far the smartest man, and he was average intelligence from the times he came from. When did that come out?
2005.
Wow,
What's the
2005.
theme of today? 2005.
2005 movies.
I think I'll name this podcast in the year 2005.
Yeah, so Idiocracy, it's scary how many of the things that they made fun of are happening today. I mean, when the scientists of ancient times discovered that the earth was round, and who's the man who discovered that the earth was round? Think of his name. It was like 1600s, and he was ostracized. And
right, they laughed at him, right?
they laughed at him in the 1700s, and his name will be so common when we bring him up. And now there are people disbelieving that 500 years later. I mean, why are we going backwards?
Yeah, I think one issue would be that media and our
distrust of media,
distrust of media,
yeah.
and government. So, well, if they're going to lie about that, well, then of course with this, which is just a huge jump when there is. I mean, I take the common. I mean, I felt like I could easily, flying overseas, see the curvature. You saw that curve.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It's like, have these people not been in planes before?
I know. Who was the one who
Galileo?
Galileo? I think was it Galileo. I think it was Galileo.
That sounds right.
Galileo was the one who.
That sounds like something related to the stars and stuff.
Galileo is the one who said that the Earth was round. Italian guy, I believe, and he was, that the Catholic Church is there, and I think he might have been put to death because he said that. Some of those early pioneers were, greatly
Italian astronomer. That's probably him, right?
Was he the one that put the thesis out that the Earth is round? He was like 1500, 1600. I mean, a long time ago.
There's a lot here, so I don't know.
He did a lot. I mean, he was quite way ahead of his time, Galileo. He was one of the ones probably that theorized that. So, yeah, Idiocracy. I haven't seen it in a while. I've seen it a couple times, but
everybody's dumb as a doornail there. Like,
yes, they're just like stupid.
Watering things with
Gatorade. Yeah, they're watering their plants with Gatorade. So they're all going to stop. They're all going to die because they're using Gatorade in their irrigation system, and so all their plants are dying, and so they have no food.
That seems like it was a very fun movie to make. Everybody's just acting stupid as can be, and yeah, I think it didn't do very well in theaters, but had a crazy cult following and did really well afterwards. Yeah, and this probably was in the last window where like DVD sales were crazy. Now you can just go to your local Walgreens and pick up an old empty red box for free if you want to, and make $100 junking it. Probably not even $100, but yeah, people are like legally just picking those up because they're abandoned now, and they just need to get rid of them from Walgreens. I think people literally, and then pull the DVDs, and they're so valuable, and they left them. A lot of them were left with just hundreds of DVDs. It's kind of crazy. I mean,
it is crazy. You were a big Redbox aficionado. I remember that.
I was a big fan of it. Yeah, I got it down broken to a science where I'd go to the Redbox
at 12:01,
just after midnight, and pick out my DVD, and then it wouldn't be due until the next day.
So you basically have 47 hours and 59 minutes to watch your DVD.
Yeah, an extra day basically. I love that. I mean, I prided myself on always making sure I returned it before 9.
Oh, it wasn't midnight. It was 9.
Yeah, it was 9. It was pretty,
so you didn't get
smart.
Okay.
So, yeah, it wasn't a full.
Wasn't a full 24 hours.
24 hours. But it was just. I mean, that the next day.
9 p.m. Mm-hmm. Well, most people settle in at home like at 8 o'clock. I mean, that is going to be a lot of late fees. That was.
Yeah.
because you get to you think you're going to watch by the time you eat and then you sit down and then I got to run out
but that's the next day.
Yeah. Well,
so I mean, it's not
okay.
So I'm renting it Wednesday, and then it's Thursday it's due. So like you watched it the night. Hopefully you've watched it the night you rented it, and then you have it with you after work and just drop it off.
True.
But yeah, I remember having friends that had like a stack of 50. I think my ex-girlfriend, her family had just stacks of them because after you hold on to them for like 20 days or so, they just charge you the $25. So that is a nice thing where most movies were still about between 20 and 30. So they just charge you $25, get there, make a little bit of profit on the movie or whatever. And aren't Blockbuster jerks where they just charge you like hundreds of dollars for one video. It is crazy that we used to rent. I mean, well, you do it at home with the convenience. I mean, we've done it before. We've rented a movie at the house. There's certain movies. So the big thing now is, so when movies first come up, they charge you $20. So if you think about it, me and you want to watch a movie that just came out, and for the first like month or maybe it's $20.
Oh,
that's not a bad deal.
It's $20 a person.
No.
What I'm saying, if you go to the movie theater, it's like $20 a person. By the time you get your little soda, maybe your popcorn, I mean, who can resist the concession stand?
30, yeah.
I mean, I can't resist the concession stand, so you might as well factor that right in there.
No.
And versus you pay $20, and depending how big your viewing room is, you could have 10 people there for the $20 and watch it. 20, 30 if it's big enough.
Right. So that's really not a bad deal for $20. And then I don't know where I was going with that, but so it's crazy to think that back in the day we rented DVD that was $4 at Blockbuster to rent a movie. But that was 3 days, so it comes out the same, but you most people don't watch it every day. Like, I mean, you just need it for the first night.
I remember after church, because I lived in Willow Lake, and I went to church in Watertown, and it was about 45 minutes. And after church, I go to the Blockbuster, and I always tried to watch all of any movie that was nominated for Academy Award in the Academy Award season. And if not all of them were on DVDs or even video. I think the DVDs by that time. And I would get like 3 or 4, and I'd go home and I would binge watch 2-3 movies. And after a while, you're like, okay, that plot point, was that in the first movie? Or you kind of get a little confused because the plot points kind of run together a little bit, depending how dissimilar the movies are. I mean, if one of them is an animated movie and another one is, like a drama or something, I mean, you probably won't confuse them. But if they're similar movies, you might be thinking, oh, did that happen in this movie or the previous movie? So just a little bit. But I used to love going there and seeing, and then, they'd get a new movie and they get a whole bunch of them. But if you didn't get there soon enough and it was a big enough Blockbuster, they might get sold out. Different times. People don't know that, don't know that. I mean, I still remember in 2008, my roommate I lived with for a year there in Sioux Falls, he was using an early version of Netflix where they mailed you the CD. And I remember he would get the CDs and you'd have your list. I mean, it was a big thing. Like if it was a couple and you would have a list of your next one, and the guy would have a different preference and they'd go in and change the priority without telling the other person, how come this showed up? I thought the next one was going to be a romance, the wife is saying. No, this is a shoot 'em up, I ordered that. And I remember the movies came scratched. He was complaining that they're scratched, and he was planning on watching the movie that night. And then it comes in the mail, and he gets all excited, opens it up, and you can't even watch it because it's a scratch movie because there's no quality control. They don't think they go in and make sure the movie was good. If it gets scratched, they're not going to pick that up.
And nowadays we get annoyed when it takes 20 seconds for it to load to go up to 100%.
Yeah, the time, just think about it. I mean, it's talking about 10, 15 years ago. Well, it's 2008, that's, that's 17 years ago. Wow.
I could literally ask my high school self, like, where do you think technology would be in the future? I wouldn't imagine, because I didn't get a cell phone wasn't very common at all when I in the 90s for everyone, really. I mean, like, you pay by the minute, so you just got to be ridiculous bills. So I got my first cell phone like 2002, I think. And so and still even then, I wouldn't have imagined just I would imagine the iPhone for one thing, and then just everything. I mean, man, after I stopped working, I worked at a Ruby Tuesday. It shut down. They closed like 100 restaurants. Ruby Tuesdays. I was a server there. I really enjoyed it, and I planned to go work at do Ubering after that. And a couple months later, I started doing Uber there in Northwest Arkansas. I couldn't have imagined it with my cell phone making money like that. And I mean, people do that full time. It's not, I mean, especially if you're in a busy area, no big deal. You usually putting your cell phone, and there's bunches of ways to do that. All kinds of games. I mean, interacting with people. I mean, it's literally the biggest advancement and utilization, and just like the biggest technology thing has been our cell phones, I would think, right? Like, I mean, what else
you would
you
have to. It would have to be.
right?
Yeah,
The
I mean,
most
you're connected.
used technology,
I mean, yeah,
like
right.
banking. I mean, I can
Not
shoot
me.
you some money real quick or
You
whatever.
you can't get money from my cell phone. And the reason, because, well, there is
Tim's
epidemic.
read too many articles. We're gonna have to cut you out.
No,
after
I've
five.
met
No, I
I've met a
understand.
guy. I've met a guy down on Broadway. I mean, this is
No,
hush hush.
it's
I don't
been
want to
an
say this,
issue.
but
It's been an issue
Broadway
in
or
Broadway.
Nashville, down in the big tourist area, and people are drinking a lot. And there's I don't know if you could say epidemic, but it happens considerable amount, where especially guys are targeted by cute girls who flirt with them and then say, "Hey, let's go back to your place," and then, or wherever, the hotel or wherever the guy's staying, and they woofie them, and they get them back there, and they pass out, and they take their phone and use their phone ID to access their bank account. And I met a guy came by the booth that I was working, support booth, and he had just lost $3,000. He'd lost his phone, and the woman had taken $3,000. It just had happened to him that night. And one guy, this was in the newspaper, one guy lost 60 grand because his phone is tied to his accounts, and they transferred the money out of his account into their account, and then they quickly moved it again, probably blockchain, I suppose, maybe transferred into a blockchain so it's not traceable. And then they leave, and when you wake up, oh, where am I? Where's my phone? And when you check your accounts next, everything's cleaned out. This is a real thing. This does happen. So I am leery of making my phone connected to so many things. I mean, I cannot make a transfer of any money. I can't even pay Venmo. You Venmo me, Venmo is very common. And Seth, we just took your brother out, and we agreed to split the costs, and for birthdays. And you sent me a Venmo request. I just paid it today because I have to be on my computer in this room to do it. And you can't even access my Venmo from my phone. So,
I was about to say, I haven't looked under like Venmo. That's something they should do, is let you put like a password even just to get into Venmo, like a separate thing. That would be good,
most
right?
people are too much in a hurry, and they use their visual. It sees your facial recognition, and it doesn't help if you're passed out, and they can just put it over your face and then unlock it.
Yeah. And then
I mean, most people don't think they're going to meet a girl who's going to roofie them. Most people don't think that's going to happen. I mean, and I don't think that's ever going to happen to me because I don't go down on Broadway. But I mean, lose your phone. I mean,
and we can't stand hot girls. Ugh.
No.
Ugh. Attractiveness. Ugh. Gorgeous.
Not true. He's being very sarcastic. So I probably won't happen to me, that explicit thing. I mean, I don't drink hardly at all, so I won't be partying with girls down on Broadway who are going to try to roofie me. But I mean, my phone, I've lost my phone before. or someone steal your phone out of your hand. I mean, people snatch your phone. I noticed that when I went on my trip to the Balkans, I was on a long bus ride, and there was a young woman, two young women who didn't know each other, but they were both traveling, and so they sat and immediately bonded. And the one woman had a chain around her neck, and it was connected to the phone. So, I've thought about this. You go into busy area, busy city, and you're walking with your phone, or maybe not even paying attention. Someone comes running by a very crowded sidewalk, grabs your phone out of your hand, and they're gone. What are you going to do? But if the phone is literally chained around your neck, it's a little harder for them to steal it, unless they break the chain. But if it's not a log chain or anything, but it's a little bit of it's not as easy just grabbing it out of your hand. And
with the iPhone, you can track it now too, and you can just shut it down and erase everything on it.
True. Well, there was a story recently of this was a young guy who, this was in the news. A young guy had his phone stolen, and he tracked his phone, and it was tracked to a particular address. And he said, I'm going to get them. And he started their house on fire. It was a young teenager. Yeah, look at that look. Started their house on fire and killed most of the family. And it wasn't the right house, because the accuracy of that is not, it was a neighboring house. And he's up for murder charges now.
This has been yet another positive story with Tim. In the Tim corner, the Tim story corner.
So I'm saying, there's shortcuts, or there's shortfalls to that, track my phone. Don't burn down the person's house that you think stole it. Verify it first.
Then burn it down. All right, Tim, now you got to tell one happy story.
Happy story. Well, let's see. I got my album's coming out exactly 1 month from today. Today's the 27th.
Exciting.
27th of June, my new album, Born in South Dakota, is coming out. And I'm so excited about it. And
we're going to need to see a birth certificate.
And that's exciting for me.
When's the last time you were in South Dakota, sir?
It's been a while. Been a while. 7 years, 6 years. Anyway, and then also another album I'm working on now is Down and Under, and that'll be coming out in August. So I just got album's going to be coming out. I wrote that when I was down under, a 2-week trip down under. You weren't on that trip, but your brother was either. Down on a cruise ship around New Zealand, and I saw the Hobbit house. That was the highlight of it. Saw the house where they filmed all the Hobbit scenes with their.
Don't we call them little people? No, Hobbit. You're right.
And Hobbiton. That's what it's called. Hobbiton, right?
Oh, really?
Hobbiton. Yeah. Huh. Yeah. From the Lord of Rings, and then the Hobbit. All of the scenes from those.
Did you see my precious? My precious.
So during that trip, I spent enough time in my room that I wrote 11 songs, and those are going to be coming out. And so I'm working on that.
First
so
song,
those are good things.
I'm stuck in this room. There's 4 walls. Nah,
nothing quite like that.
That's what the song was thrown out.
That one got thrown out. Yeah, that one got thrown
out. I'm not doing a very good job of convincing you to write some songs with me.
And let's give a shout out to your brother.
Hey, shout out Steve is his name.
Birthday today.
Yep,
birthday boy.
Big 25 is what he'd like to say.
Big round number, but we'll go with 25.
Yeah.
And so we were in Hot Springs last week celebrating his birthday, my other sister's birthday, not your mom, and your dad's birthday. All had big round number birthdays in the month of May. And so we were there for your dad's birthday, and your brother's 1 week later. And then my sister was earlier in the month. She was in Europe celebrating. She was on a cruise going up and down the Danube River. So
they had just gotten back into town, right?
I think they had, yeah. They were talking about being jet lagged. jet lagged. Sounded like a great trip. They went to a lot of different wonderful cities in Germany and
we got to do
Austria.
that. I love being able to see the whole Europe. I mean, especially if you're going to be want to go to countries that are like connected to the ocean. Was when we went on the cruise. We went on that celebrity cruise, and we went to 5, 6 different countries.
No, we only went to 3.
4. 3 was it 3?
We went to Greece. A number of stops in Greece.
Kept really good record of it, didn't I?
And then we were in Turkey, a couple stops in Turkey, and then we
Yeah.
went to Cyprus. Was an island country, Cyprus.
Man, that one stop thought it was an airport. We went through 4 checkpoints trying to get out of that. Remember that one? I think that might have been Turkey. That might have been Istanbul.
Oh yeah. That was quite the deal getting out of there.
3 checkpoints. Just a maze to walk through.
Yes.
It was ridiculous.
But Istanbul is very cool. Very cool.
Oh yeah. I'd been there on a missions trip. Was there a couple weeks. So this is definitely a different coming a boat. So what we flew into Italy. It's just no, we didn't fly.
Sorry for laughing.
If we're gonna do geography, you can laugh at me all day if we could just do geography. It wasn't Italy we flew into. Where did we fly into?
Greece, Athens, Greece.
They're close. They're just a ship away.
Okay, I'm going to do this.
There we go.
This is your patented move. Patented move.
It's okay. We can drive each other a little crazy. It's okay.
Yeah, we flew into Athens. Athens, wonderful city, wonderful, and the whole country of Greece only has 10 million people, and I think was it 2/3 of them live in Athens, or a very high percentage. I don't remember if it was quite 2/3. A very high percentage live in Athens, and the rest of them are spread out through all the many islands and things, and then we were in Turkey and Cyprus. And I also went to Malta, which is an island. I went there first. And there's many people confuse another island in the Mediterranean that is not far away called Crete, Crete. That is not a separate country. That is part of Greece. So Cyprus, Crete. They will start with a C.
You can eat one of those things, I think.
Cyprus, you can eat?
No. I think it was Crete.
Crepe.
Not a crate.
This is Crete. Or Crete. I mean, normally, Italian, I don't know if Greece is the same way. It's A-E-U-A-O. So an E is A-E-A.
Tim was very well spoken until he started hanging around me.
The vowel sounds in Italian and Japanese are the same. There's only 5 vowel sounds, and there's not like English has short vowel, long vowel. Like A can be A, it's most confusing. But if you see a vowel in Japanese or Italian, it's always pronounced the same way.
Please don't give me any school drama, school flashbacks, or ET, whatever it's. Anxiety, school flashbacks. Oh,
it's A-E-U-A-O. Would be the
teacher.
A.
I was turning my paper right away. I'm not done yet.
The I would be E. E.
Except after
U would be U. Or E U A. A is E.
Here's my paper.
Oh, and then O is O.
Can I go to recess now?
That's why I say crate. I mean, right. I don't know if it's Crete or crate, but if it's pronounced as if it's Italian, it would be crate because the E is A.
How did you get back to that? Wasn't that like 3 seconds, like 5 minutes ago?
Well, I'm explaining why I pronounced it crate. And I don't know if that is how they pronounce it or not, but I mean, your eye is combobulating.
Just don't say vowels. Don't say any vowels. Math problems. For Pete's sakes, don't even try to give me a history quiz.
Hey, you told me you had advanced math. You told me the other day.
Yeah, but I'm done with it. I don't like.
I'm
it's
done with it.
over.
I'm done with
It's
it.
behind me. I'm never a big school fan.
So yeah. Anyway, a lot of people. I mean, we went to what are the islands? What's the one with all the white San Diego? The one that everybody goes to and it was so crowded. You had to the line was Santiago? No, that's my gosh.
Now you're starting to sound like me, Tim.
Starts with an SAN. It's a big tourist stop, and they have the beautiful white domes with the blue buildings, and it's on a hilltop, and you can ride a donkey up, or you can take the tram. And there was a deadline. The boat was docked, and you had to be, and then you got on a little ferry boat, it was like a power boat that would seat like 30 people, maybe 50 people. And that's how you got from the ship to the shore. And then you had to be on the boat by a certain time. Otherwise, they'll leave you. They don't wait. They do not wait. So I was at the top, and it was about time to go down to make sure I got on a boat to get there. And the line to get on the tram was around about 5 blocks around. Goodness. And I'm like, there's no way I am going to trust that waiting in this line. I had like 2 hours, hour and a half maybe. I'm going to walk down. Walking down is obviously easier than walking up, but my gosh, it was quite a strenuous walk, even though I was walking down.
You couldn't find an ass?
Couldn't find the what?
A donkey.
I didn't want to walk. Yeah, well, I think the donkeys take you up. I don't think they take you down. But there were donkey crap on the pathway that I walked on. You had to make sure you'd step in it because that's the same path the donkeys went on. Mm-hmm. But it probably took at least a half hour, probably 40 minutes to walk down. Walking up would have been a load. Some people walk up. You can, but it's quite a haul. And I don't know people who, if they were waiting for the tram to go down, I'm afraid some of them might have missed the boat. So
he's here, ladies and gentlemen. Tim,
I'm here. I didn't miss the boat. I did not miss the boat. We went there twice. Well, we were on multiple cruises back to back, and each cruise went to this destination.
It was a really good time.
But you never got off there, did you?
I try to. I'm allergic to land. I know.
Did you ever get off the? Did you ever get off the boat? Well, you did get off the boat in Istanbul.
I did a couple times. We had a really good meal on one. The maze of getting off was one of the stops.
Yeah. Well, we had overnights. We had overnight in Istanbul.
Oh yeah, because we went out later, I think too.
Yeah, and so there was you could stay,
and then there was nothing. We couldn't find anything to do. I think, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, in fact, me and you decided like we're done. We walked out of ways, and there was like nothing. And
nothing to do.
Our parents
nothing to see,
Daniel were ahead. My parents.
Yeah.
Your sister. And we just like, let's go back.
But one of my favorite trips was another port in Thessaloniki, which is Thessalonian, where the Thessalonians in the Bible, 1st, 2nd Thessalonians, Paul wrote to the people that were living there, and the ruins are there. And it was once a portside town, but now it's not because I guess all the waterways have been filled in the 2,000 years, and it's out in the middle of nowhere, really. These ruins, you have to take a taxi an hour to get to it. And we went out there. Did you go on that? Were you on that? Did you go on that? Or was that? I don't think you went on that. You remember Thessaloniki? I don't think you went. I think you stayed on the ship. Probably. But your brother went. Your brother went, and your mom and your dad went. And the taxi, we negotiated. We found a taxi driver and he said he'll wait for us. And so we get off and we walk through all the ruins. Took so many pictures, so many photos. It was really amazing. It was what it was like living in the Roman times. Where the different things were, and they had a lot of pagan temples to their gods, their Greek gods, etc. And some of it was still standing, some of it was in disarray, but it was quite worth the trip. And our taxi driver had said he'd wait for us. And we were in there for 2.5, 3 hours. And we were walking out, and we were all tired because it was hot and it was quite a long walk. And we're saying, there's no way our taxi driver's waiting for us. We'll have to get another taxi. And doggone it, he was there waiting. He had waited 3 hours for us. So apparently getting that kind of a trip is probably pretty special. He probably made his day's salary doing our round trip. You know, we paid him one way and then the same going back. He probably, that was maybe enough for his whole week. I don't know. He was, so he was standing there waiting for us. That was amazing. Couldn't believe it. And that was probably one of the, as far as ancient ruins, that's one of the highlights for me. Thessaloniki, that was quite the place. I've got some great videos and photos of that.
Did they charge you to go into that area?
Yeah, I believe there was. Yeah, of course, I believe so. But it was so worth it.
Well, before we wrap up the podcast, I thought it'd be interesting, since I was going to name the podcast 2005. In the year 2005, some other things that happened.
Yeah.
The death of the Pope, John Paul II.
Okay.
Hurricane Katrina hit.
Ooh, 2005. Wow. That was a tough one.
Crazy.
That was tough on New Orleans. Very tough.
Martha Stewart got out of prison.
Yay, Martha Stewart.
This is the craziest one. First video uploaded to YouTube.
Oh my gosh.
That was 2005. See, I knew, that was exactly how I felt. Isn't that crazy? But
2005 was a momentous year.
Yeah.
I mean, look at YouTube now.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's insane. It's like, I mean, a lot of people get their news. I mean, make a living off of there. I'd say that's probably one of my, more than 50% of my entertainment I get off of probably YouTube.
Well, YouTube TV. I mean, I got sick and tired of messing with the, you could get, first you do the dishes, not wash the dishes, but you have the dish. What are the dish suppliers? I think that's all obsolete now, but satellite dish. And there are two big players. There used to be anyway. And then we still have the satellite dish in the backyard. Because when I moved to Nashville, I used the satellite dish. I got it through AT&T. AT&T offered it. So it was a package through AT&T. Had my phone with AT&T. Had my at the time, had my phone with AT&T. I had the dish, satellite dish, and Wi-Fi with AT&T. So it was all bundled together. And then the quality and the customer service and
the price just went up. And up.
Oh, that's what it was. The price went way
they double the price after the first year.
And I said, enough of this. And so I looked around, and you could get Spectrum, or you could get all the different players. And I searched it out, and I can't remember what was the one that I had, and they had different colored, like they had the bronze plan and the silver plan and the gold plan. And I love to watch NBA basketball, and it kept going up in price because the things I wanted to watch, they would remove them from the tier I was at, and I had to go up to a higher tier. And I got to the point where I was paying, for me, a huge amount, $80 a month, I think it was. And I said, screw that. And I looked into YouTube TV, and YouTube TV, I've been with them ever since. Probably been in them 3 or 4 years. And I get my NBA League Pass. It's integrated right in there.
Which is pretty close to $80 now, but
is it
well worth it? Yeah.
Well worth it now, but back then it was a lot cheaper. I mean, everything's gone up.
Well, the thing with YouTube TV, you can have it on you can watch it on 3 different TVs. So it would be just like, have a cable or whatever to an extent. And then like you can record as many shows as you want. The quality is great. I feel like you have the same algorithm. Like, you can, just like how you can easily watch YouTube videos so well on your cell phone, you could do that with YouTube TV on your cell phone. Just that same algorithm processes videos so much better than a lot of, like, I remember being able to watch YouTube no problem, but then like TikTok would be issues, like on a cruise ship, and it would be the same speeds. And YouTube would work fine. It just seems that they just Google, which is owned by Google, owns it, and they just have some amazing algorithms where they're able to process things.
Yeah,
so much better.
They're quite, and then the name isn't that anymore. They changed the name. What's the name of the company? alphabet or something?
Yeah, I think it's always. I think it's technically, or yeah,
Alphabet. I think it's called Alphabet.
But I mean, they still like the browsers still Google. But
Of course. But the
but I
company,
think
if you wanted to
hasn't
buy stock, it'd be Alphabet.
Alphabet.
I believe
yeah.
it's Alphabet. Google it.
Google
it.
right, because calm down here.
Google about themselves.
Yes, it is Alphabet because I mean I own that stock. Now I feel like it's always been Alphabet on there.
No, they changed. There was a name change at some
really?
point. I remember when they did the name change. So, wow, that's amazing. First video uploaded. That was when it was the two guys doing it in their basement. Didn't they think? Wasn't that the one they thought was going to be a dating site? They wanted it to be a dating site. YouTube, they thought was going to be a dating site. Or am I confusing
Yeah,
it?
Really, it originally was a dating.
Yeah, it was going to be a dating site.
2015, Google changed its name to Alphabet.
See, I knew it wasn't right away.
So then,
you can't
that's
fool me.
So that's the Alphabet is and then Google is under it.
Yeah, Alphabet is the corporate name.
Nest, YouTube. Oh, Android. Maybe I should know that. The way they own Android.
Yeah, they own Android. Yeah,
I should know that.
You should know that, sir. And now, I mean, for example, talk about something that's been obsolete. I remember spreadsheets. I still use spreadsheets a lot for a lot of things. I have spreadsheets for so many things. My personal life, my music, my finances, whatever. Spreadsheets. Yeah.
I like spreadsheets.
And Microsoft, you'd have to buy the program, Excel spreadsheet, and it'd be on your computer. And Google came out and said, okay, you could just have Google Docs and is it Docs and Sheets? Which is which? Now, one of them is like a word processor, and the other one is like a spreadsheet. I think Docs is the spreadsheet. And I do most of my spreadsheets now on Google, and it's stored in the cloud. And then when I share, there are other people that need to see it. My business partners, I just share, and they can see everything that I can see, and I don't have to send them a file. So I don't even have Excel anymore. Now I do have the Apple version of it's called Numbers, and I'll occasionally use that. I don't know why I use it versus the other times. I guess I don't have any logic or reason, but I use both the Apple version of Excel. But I think Excel's market share has to be drastically smaller than it was 10, 15 years ago. They were the only game in town, really. And now the Google version, which is free. So kind of hard to compete with free.
The biggest issue with the cloud probably is what when it.
Yeah, you worry that someone
when it rains.
When it rains, yeah, that's a problem. It gets wet. You get wet when you're with the cloud.
all the paperwork gets wet.
So, and then you got to worry about security. I mean, people get hacked. I mean, think of all the female celebrities who had their nude photos hacked.
I'm not going to do that. That's inappropriate. I'm not going to think about that.
Yeah, this is a PG. This is a PG.
Tim, in the podcast.
No, but I mean, private things can be, they can hack it. So that's a concern. But if you're a nobody like me, probably nobody's going to hack it. There's no value for them to hack it. But
Tim, you're not a nobody.
Oh, thank you, nephew. Thank you.
You're Tim
Wolf.
Wolf. It's on the tip of my tongue. Okay.
Let's wrap her up with that.
Guys, thanks for watching the podcast. Me and Tim Wolf. Tim Wolf. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching. I cannot forget his name. Thanks as always for watching. Please like and subscribe. We're almost up to our numbers for No Sugar No Cream on Facebook. We're on YouTube. Please subscribe over there. We'd appreciate that. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye. And also share the podcast would be appreciated. Like on Facebook, share it with all your friends so they see it. And